guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Winnie Joe and I speak on issues concerning international students and intending international students. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, same name, I am Winnie Joe. And to my new subscribers, welcome to my old subscribers. Thank you, you all rock. Don't forget to watch my previous videos where I talk about different issues concerning international students and those that would apply to you at this stage of the process. If you've not started the process at all, I have videos that you could watch that will teach you all about the process, everything it entails, and how you can go about it yourself. Well, I offer paid services, and if you want to know about that, you can join the Telegram group. The link to the Telegram group is beneath this video description. I help with a lot of services, a whole range of services. Okay, well, this video is sponsored by Amber Students. Amber Students is a student-centered accommodation organization that helps students, international students, look for accommodation or have accommodation way before they arrive in the UK. And they have a number of services they render to international students, which include looking for a roommate. Probably you've gotten a room and you wanted a roommate, they could help you out with that. Flight reservation, student loans, internship, airport pickup, trying to book a room, you understand? So by the time you just come into the country, you don't need to go to an hotel, you just go straight to the room. And so many services. Also provide advice on so many other things like students' bank accounts. They give you a SIM card when you arrive into the country, and so many other services, a lot of services that you can think of. So all you have to do is click on the link below this video description. You can actually book, and way before when your visa is approved, you can actually pay for it and come to your room straight from the airport. These services are hassle free, you don't stress. There's 24/7 customer service, top-notch customer service providers. There's it is budget friendly, and it is very quick and convenient. Okay, right now we have accommodation available in a few selected areas like in Manchester, Nottingham, Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, Sheffield. Yes, so there are accommodations in these selected areas. You can also visit the website. I'm going to put the link in here. Okay, you can also visit the website and explore, look at other services that they render, and you could just indulge yourself. Okay, so once again, this video is sponsored by Amber Students, and for all of these services, all you need to do is to click on the link in this video description and you are good to go. Well, today's video is about all you need to know before signing a student contract for accommodation in the UK. Whether you are a student with dependents or you are a single student, okay, this is all you need to know. Firstly, being an international student in the UK means that you are not exposed to a lot of things concerning how to look for an accommodation. Then when you finally get an accommodation, you are not used to the idea that you need to sign a contract before you move in. Yes, you need to sign a contract, and it's a whole lot of lengthy one. Okay, you need to make sure that you take your time to read through it. Now, how do you detect a fraudulent contract, a slavery contract, or a racist contract? Okay, how do you detect a contract, an accommodation contract that is not healthy for you? First of all, make sure, as I said earlier, you go through the contract and you fish out issues that concerns you're staying in the room, how much of invasion your landlord or your agent is going to give, if they are going to, if the room includes paid services or not, if it's bills inclusive or not. You need to know all of this. You also need to know what part you need to play in whatever maintenance you have in that accommodation, in that room or in that flat or in that house that you're staying. Okay, you also need to know the rules or whatever guidelines that is in place to you for your deposit, because normally when you move into a room or into an accommodation in the UK, there's an amount you pay called deposit. Now in Nigeria we call it caution fee, in case anything spoils and all of that. So make sure that you look into this deposit fee. Make sure that the deposit fee is not held by the landlord or by the agent. It's actually held by the deposit, the organization in charge of holding deposits in the UK. Okay, and also you have to also make sure that whatever is in the contract concerning the accommodation is actually real. For instance, you check the door, they told you it's 4 doors and they are all double glazed and all that. Count it. They told you that they have 7 bulbs in the house. Count the 7 bulbs. Make sure it's actually 7 bulbs. They told you, oh, there's 3 inner doors. Make sure that the inner doors is not cracked. The inner doors does not have any patches or anything else that I saw before I was able to rent an accommodation in the UK. All the lapses I saw in the house, and yet what was in the contract was that this house was fully refurbished and there was no fault whatsoever. But when I looked through the house, I discovered that there's no bulb in the bathroom. The doors had these holes like from the outside to the inner. You could see you could see each other, you could see yourself through that hole. Yes. And then they'll tell you about other equipment in the house, like if the house is smoke proof or burglary proof or what, it has a camera. Please make sure you actually verify everything, because at the time you want to move out of the house, you wouldn't want a situation whereby you came into the house and this thing was faulty, and then the landlord or the agent is telling you that they cannot give you your deposit because this place is faulty, whereas that's how it was way before you came into that house. Okay, so look at the contracts very well and fish out these things. There are some contracts that I call slavery contracts, because how can you rent a room or rent a house on accommodation and you cannot bring a friend, or a friend cannot spend more than 2 days? Like, I am paying you for the accommodation, so I should be able to have a friend over for 2 days, for 1 week, for 2 weeks. Yes, you shouldn't have a say in that. Okay, so these are the things you need to look at. There are some students accommodation that will just tell you your friend cannot sleep in the house for more than 3 days. What if you have serious projects? What about if you have assignments? You're paying for the room, so you should be allowed to live the way you want in it, as long as the person is not coming to stay permanently as a roommate. Okay, if the person does not have a place to stay and is coming to stay permanently as a roommate, then you should actually probably call the landlord or the agent and tell them, oh, I'm going to be accommodating someone for a particular period of time. And why would you even bother to do this? Because probably the house is bills inclusive. Okay, you know, by the time they know that when only you is staying in this house, they budgeted just like £200 every month, and then somebody else comes to stay with you, the bills is going to increase. They're going to be saying like £300, and they might come to ask you and say, what happened? Why did the bills of this room increase? Like the water bill, the electricity bill. Are you keeping someone in the room? Okay, so that's the reason why you need to even tell them and say, I have someone that's going to be staying for a prolonged period of time. Please, 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 this is the time is going to come in, and this is the time is going to leave, and all of that, so it doesn't cause any issue. Contract signing in the UK is a very important contract. In fact, don't sign any contract without looking through it. When you look through it properly, give it to someone else that is learned, not necessarily a lawyer, but give it to someone else that can actually look through it for you also. Okay, so that any lapses or whatever thing that you did, you left out, someone else will be able to fish it out and you could go through it properly. All right, same thing that goes to university accommodations. Make sure you go through it, because there's some accommodations in the UK that is like 12 months contract. Okay, and there's some accommodation that even though you want to leave, there's no room for you to transfer the room to someone else, and so many things. So make sure you look for a contract that works for you. If you're not sure, then you should join the Telegram group and probably chat me up, and if I have a little bit of time, I can help you go through it. So that's for students accommodation. For accommodation houses, accommodation for students with dependents, well, you know you're going to be having children, so when you're signing your contract, make sure that the rules concerning children is not so tight. For instance, my children write on the wall. Okay, so I know for a fact that I will have to paint the house before I leave the house. Okay, but anything more than that, it's already called like it's ripping off. All right, so someone cannot just come into your house and tell you, okay, want to inspect the house. You stayed in this house for the past 6 months, want to inspect the house, how far it's been, and then you're seeing a little, probably where the children wrote in is just in the sitting room, and then it's telling you to paint the entire building. Okay, so that's things that you should actually fish out in your contract. And also make sure that if you're in a house that is you're in a house and you're a student with dependents, make sure that the bills that was there by the previous tenant is being cleared. Look at the water bill, look at the meter, jot it out, have a pen and a biro, write the number you see in that meter on the day you move in or the day you checked it in. Okay, then look at the electricity meter or the last electricity bill, jot it down. And then look at the water bill, jot it down. Okay, the gas bill, jot it down. All right, so in case there's any difference, you know that difference is not coming from you. This is what you met in the meter when you came in. So when you're about to leave, nobody will tell you, oh, you did not pay for this, you did not pay for that, whereas you've been very, very diligent in paying your bills. All right, you wouldn't want to inherit the bill of someone that was living in the accommodation before. For instance, the house that I'm presently in, when I came in, I discovered that the gas bill and the electricity bill, because it's this prepaid meter, that's just the best in the UK for students. So we load it any amount we like and all of that. But when we came in, we discovered that the meter was owing minus £30. And then I told the agent and said, this meter is owing £30. I hope I'm not going to be the one to clear it, because I expect people to have cleared this amount way before I move in. And he said, okay, no, don't worry, we are going to be the one to clear it. And I made sure that it is being cleared. All right, I made sure it was cleared, and I called the service provider for the electricity and gas, and I asked them, please, on this so dates when I moved in, this is the amount that I saw that is being owed by the meter. Has it been cleared? And they said yes, it has been cleared. By whom? I want to make sure that it's not the recent card that I just bought and I loaded that's actually cleared the deficit on that meter. So I said by whom, and they actually gave me the name of the landlord and said, this is the person that cleared it. Okay, same with the internet bills. All right, so make sure all the bills was cleared way before you enter into the house. Make sure that every property, every single, if it's furnished, make sure everything is accounted for. If they say they have 2 shares and it's color brown and it's circle or it's curve or whatever it is, make sure it is well documented. All right, as I said before, contract of any kind in the UK is a very, very serious matter. All right, and also when you before you sign your contract as a student, make sure you also get to know the area. Make sure you also get to know the provider of the amenities in the house, like this house, who is the provider of this and that, am I able to change it? For instance, now you're using provider A, and when I move in, I discovered that I can actually use provider B and it is way cheaper. Hope I am free to actually switch to provider B. All right, so you need to ask that question and let them affirm and say yes, you can actually switch providers as long as you don't owe any bill by the time you're moving out. So it's that simple, it's that straightforward, and it's that clear. All right, I hope I've been able to answer this. And another thing I also want to talk about is how to detect fraudulent contracts. All right, okay, fraudulent contract. Well, the way you should do that is to whatever address you see the agent or the landlord, make sure it can be verified. Make sure it can be verified. Call the number and be very, very sure that that's the person that owns the line. Make sure that whatever account they gave you to pay into, make sure that it is verified. All right, so don't just pay all the way from your home country or from Nigeria. Make sure that whatever account is there, give an instruction to your bank saying that this is the name that was given to me, this is the name of the landlord, and this is all the documents that was given to me. Make sure it's that name that pops out way before you pay in this money. Or if there's any discrepancy of any kind, let the money be returned back to my account. So make sure you do your due diligence before you pay. There are some fraudulent people on what's it called, on house websites that are just there to rip you. Some of them will say, oh, I'm not in the country right now, but my house is available for 6 months. Do you want to pay? Please don't pay for any house without you viewing it. In fact, a genuine agent will tell you you must view this house first, whether you view it online through WhatsApp or through YouTube, or you actually send someone to go view it for you. But make sure you don't pay for any house that you have not viewed. All right, and during the course of viewing, you could actually see previous bills, and you could have actually see the name that is written on those bills and their address, if it correlates with the address you're in right now. All right, so be very, very aware of fraudulent contracts that are meant to trap you, that are not straightforward, contracts that have hidden clauses. Make sure, in fact, ask the lawyer, or ask the agent, or ask the landlord directly. Hope there are no hidden clauses in this contract. If there's any hidden clause, if this is possible, this is possible, but if there's any comma in anything, please let me know now, okay? And make sure you actually record your conversations, whether on phone conversations or physical conversations. Just have a record of any kind. All right. And yes, when you're actually viewing the house, before you move in, and like me, for instance, the day I moved in was the day I signed the contract. I wanted to be sure that everything in the contract was what I was seeing, and I moved in that same day. All right, so make sure that they give you time before signing the contract. Make sure, like, I was given at least 1 week to review the contract before I sent it back for signing. All right, so make sure they give you time. You make sure that they are not in a hurry. When they sound like they're in a hurry, it is fraudulent. When it is not straightforward, it is fraudulent. When they said you can pay without you viewing the house, it is fraudulent. When they say, oh, pay to this, my name is for instance Caleb Johnson, but I want you to pay to Rita Ora, is fraudulent. Okay, so any little glitch in information, anything that does not seem straight to you, please, it is fraudulent. A lot of people were actually scammed last year because of how desperate they were in looking for an accommodation. So I hope I've been able to touch all the corners that I can touch. But if you have further questions, please drop it in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to answer you. Okay, and I wish you success and luck. My next video is going to be about applications or websites you can actually use in looking for an accommodation, and how you can get accommodation from Nigeria. So watch out for my next video. All right, for now, don't forget Amba Student, and thanks to Amba Student for sponsoring this video. Thank you all for watching, and God bless. Bye.